extremely good news that your computer has enough RAM to record audio.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything
Yeah, it
that I
looks like
got,
we're
you know?
good.
Sweet.
Well, I got the game on in the background here.
That's just really nice of
Oh,
you. That's just a considerate move.
Malik
That's great.
Willis in the game. Do you see
Dude,
that?
whoa.
Ryan Tannehill on the sideline.
Nobody has Malik Willis on their roster.
Oh my heavens. The drama has started.
Shout out to all the boys who saved their waiver priority. You get rewarded today. Whoever number one
You
is, I can check.
do, in fact, get rewarded today. That's pretty nice.
Although I'd much rather have Mac Jones than Malik Willis, dude. Please.
Clearly you would.
Please. Sure knows what I'm talking about, guys.
Yeah.
I have no evidence. It's going to be the truth.
Sure does know what you're talking about. Where's he going? He doesn't look
Magnus.
hurt. Why do you need a
Magnus,
cart?
man. Magnus has the top waiver priority right now, followed by Dave.
Wow. And I think Dave has, you know what's interesting is I think Dave has Ryan Tannehill.
Dave does have Ryan Tannehill.
That
Holy
is
smokes. It's happening
really
live in front of our
something.
faces. Dude, how about good to see you. I'm glad to be back on the pod here. It's great to be back.
It's very nice. I woke up 10 minutes ago.
I love
No.
that. I figured maybe you were in the woods.
16 minutes ago. No, I ended up going for a run yesterday up in the mountains with a friend, and I didn't stay out there, but I'm very sore and my back hurts pretty bad today. It was a big effort. We did like over 7 miles with 3,200 feet of climbing.
You did share it with us all. I peeped it. It's pretty nice.
Oh yeah, I did share it. I had to brag a little bit.
I mean, look, it's nice. I can still do better than that today, and I am not in good shape. So it's not that nice.
Yeah,
but I could not do it in that amount of time. I will admit. It would take me longer than 2 hours to do 7 miles and 3,500 vertical, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think you'd be fine. You're a natural athlete.
From the woods.
Actually, you might know the guy that I went with. He's a Nordy from Williams.
Will Wachersky?
What?
Will Wachersky is the only Nordic skier from Williams that sticks out when I think of Williams Nordic skiers.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel like the Williams guys are kind of fringy.
Yeah. I mean, so are the
Casey,
Middlebury guys, but the Williams guys even more so.
his name is Casey Jones.
Yeah, I don't know Casey Jones.
Okay.
Sorry, Casey.
They all seem to know all you guys. I think Magnus was up here last weekend, and he was Casey and Vanya Rybikin.
I do know Vanya. I know Vanya.
Yeah, those two guys both were Williams guys.
I'm sure they're stand-up good dudes.
Yeah, nice guys. Extremely good mountain bikers.
Yeah.
And very good skiers as well.
It's fun hanging out with people who are good at that stuff.
Yeah.
I will say.
Well, Cobb, you want to talk some footy?
I mean, can I ask like the first question here? I feel like you sort of deserved. I know that you get, you're already high enough on your pedestal, but I think you deserve it this week with the splashiest trade of the week. So I feel like you should start here.
Splash?
I think absolutely that was the splash. I'm over here trading trash. You're over there trading treasures.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was trying to get the deal done with Skylar, and it was a hefty negotiation. I would say it was a negotiation between two juggernaut negotiators.
I mean, let's make a sports analogy here. This is like the Red Sox negotiating a trade with the Yankees. This is not, they kind of there's maybe some love, but there's a lot of hate there. There's a lot of respect, but two powerhouse franchises for a long time.
Yeah,
I'll give the credit to here.
he was so it was a lot of back and forth. Um, I honestly did not think we were going to get a deal done um, because I wanted to give up Kirk Cousins and Brees Hall and who was the wide receiver on it?
Waddle.
Maybe a Mike Evans or something.
Oh,
It
okay.
was like a actually, I might not have been putting a wide receiver in the end there because what I was trying not to do was swap my team for his team. And I think once you start giving away like more than two players, then you're like kind of entering that territory, which like I have no need to do. Like my team, I don't need to swap my team out with Skylar's. So
You
I
like
was
your team
trying to
more than
stray
that.
away from that. But yeah, basically it came down to like Justin Herbert and Joe Mixon or Kirk Cousins and Brees Hall. And he was like not having either of that. And I was trying to get Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Waddle. And so I really didn't think we were going to get a deal done because he was like not really having the Justin Herbert, Joe Mixon combo. He wanted Justin Herbert and Brees Hall. And I was like, no, that's too much value. And so we kind of left the day without a trade, and he kind of stopped talking to me. And then I left that trade up. Just I canceled all the other trades, but I left that one up. I was like, if he takes that one, I'll be happy.
I'll take that one.
And then I woke up the next morning, and Patrick Mahomes was on my team.
And you're rolling into it was like Thursday morning too, so you're rolling into Thursday night with Patrick on your
Yeah,
squad
it was
all of a
pretty
sudden.
cool. And then I almost got an even bigger blockbuster deal done with Gideon, which we can get into the Gideon
Oh yeah.
trade.
Oh yeah. That is a pretty big one as well, I guess. The actual number
Um,
one QB.
yeah, I mean, I had it on my list here to go through the trades of the week with you and get your take. So why don't we just start at the top
Yeah.
here?
Let's do trades. I mean, it's trade season. It's bye weeks. Teams are blowing up. The
Um,
highs, the lows, the roller coasters. It's insane. I thought, after beating you, I was like, I got the best team in the league. Now I feel like I got the worst team in the league again.
you had 1 week of glory. Your your
I'll
team
take
was looking hot for 1 week there.
literally for 1 week.
Yeah, and then I mean
For
the
context, I
injuries.
got Jefferson and Achan, so it's
Yeah, you had
those are my
Jefferson,
two
Achan,
best players.
and it was looking very grim for like 1 quarter of football when Travis Kelce had rolled his ankle.
Yeah. Oh God, I was in a yeah. That was the dark place. That was the dark place I was in. Right,
Okay,
like
so
nobody could speak positivity into me. Right, I'm like, nope, it's over. Like I overdid it.
yeah,
I sent Montgomery. I took Kelsey, and the gods bombed me. I overdid it. Then he came
yeah.
back. My stallion came back. Yeah.
I'm trying to scroll up to the trades here, like all through all of them
Well,
that happened.
I loved. Let's just get started with because Schwer had beef with me when right off Monday. Let's just go Sunday. I ended up drinking with these pros from the bar again. Right, they had me over Sunday night
Uh-huh.
after I just had a fun with my buddy Jack. We worked brunch and then we just started drinking and watching football all like afternoon into the evening. Go to these guys' house. I'm all excited to watch Dak. He's in my lineup. Let's fucking go. He just
Mhm.
sucks on national television against the 49ers. Absolutely
Classic,
terrible. Looks
classic.
terrified out there. Schwer wanted him the week before. I'm thinking nobody's going to want. I'm like, I don't want him. Nobody wants him. I wake up the
Yeah.
next morning. Sky has a trade, just Bryce and Michael Thomas in my inbox. I had just watched some silly YouTube video or something about how when you're in your early 20s, your brain actually generates a whole bunch of new like neurons and neural pathways because you're preparing yourself to learn more again as you enter
Uh-huh.
your young like the body is ready to learn how to like process life so you don't just party every night so maybe you can plan for the future a little bit, right? Like literally you're
Okay.
developing your frontal cortex and this is how your brain does it. So I'm like, Dak, his brain is done. He's getting worse. You and me, we're getting worse. We're only getting worse. We're not getting better.
Wow.
Bryce is getting better.
This is deep.
Right. So
I like that.
this is a scientific argument for sure Dak might put up 20 points this week. But I think by the end of the season, maybe Bryce Young is looking like CJ Stroud again. Who knows? Who knows?
You're betting
If my team
on
sucks, I don't care. At least I have both the hot rookie quarterbacks, 1-2 last year. That's fun. Screw it.
you're betting on neural pathway development in the young lad versus neural pathway deterioration in the old lad. And maybe Bryce Young, he's hot by the end of the season. CJ Stroud's having a down year. Maybe both of them stay hot by the end of the season. You got some trade value. Maybe you got 5 wins on the last week. You're fighting for the last win. You put up a nice big trade. Who knows?
Who knows?
Whatever, man.
How about the neural pathway argument, though? But yeah, then Schwer was just pissed because whatever trades he thought were so much better. But,
Well, everybody thinks that
too.
their trades are good.
This is the classic issue, I suppose.
Yeah, everybody thinks their trades are good, and then when you oh heavens,
thank goodness.
And his TV's blasting, so we can hear that.
Yes, let's go.
I'm wasted. I got you, Kyle.
Kyle and I are like recently.
I'm wasted.
Coffee.
Why do you have a T in your hat? Are you going golfing?
Yeah, I'm ready to golf.
So you're gonna jump into this late, ruin the recording, so I have to manually edit all of it, and then you're gonna leave in like 2 minutes.
Dude.
That's
don't
awesome.
Don't blast a link out and complain about a guy clicking on a link.
Well, if you're gonna stay for the whole time, then that's pretty cool. But if you're just gonna be here for 30 seconds on your phone with it smashed into your face,
enjoy me.
Oh God.
I'm enjoying you. I don't know about
what's shaking, boys. What's shaking on the pod today, boys?
We were just talking trades.
Oh.
Dak Prescott for Michael Thomas and Bryce Young. Cobb was just explaining his justification for accepting that trade, which was that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cobb, but see, now when you're in your 20s, your brain has the ability to develop new neural pathways and learn new things.
Wow.
Once you exit your 20s and you go into your 30s, you don't have the same ability. So by that logic, Dak Prescott is on the down and Bryce is on the up.
Dak's never going to see a defense. Bryce has a chance to see a defense. Learn from his mistakes a little. What do you think?
I don't know.
Perfect. I'm glad you're in.
Okay, Gideon has nothing to say. Nick doesn't know. All right, so then we got some terrible pickups and drops. Dalvin Cook is on the waiver wire. Caldwell dropped him for David Njoku. Did you guys see the pictures of his face burned? What happened?
I think he spilled coffee on his face.
No, he did not spill coffee on his face.
He's out with coffee face, yeah.
I think he's out.
I do believe it happened at home. I think it was. I don't know if it was a cooking accident.
That is
but it was badass when he showed up in a full. I don't know what mask it was, but it's like a Halloween style, full on mask that he walked into the stadium with last week. Sick.
I added Tyrod Taylor. That paid off.
God, that guy's my favorite.
That really paid off. He'll probably have -2 points.
No, he's going to put up 25. You're going to have all the regrets. Daniel Jones is never going to start another football game. Tyrod Taylor is going to be the Giants' savior. Watch.
Wow.
Watch.
I would hate for that to happen. Let me tell you, I would just hate that.
And then we had a little trade pop through Justin Herbert, Joe Mixon for Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Waddle.
So that's the second trade of the week?
I think that was the second trade of the week.
Wow.
That one was hot. How do you feel about that one after Thursday, Kyle?
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, Joe Mixon is really solid, right? Like, he's not going to give you 20, but he's probably not going to give you 2. He's
He
going to
is
give
going
you
to get
10
20
every week.
touches of the football, which is nice.
He gets a lot of touches, and
We
he
love
only
touches.
gets like 3 yards per carry. So, and then gets stuffed on the goal line no matter what. But I liked him because it's like I can pretty much count on 10 points. And then Justin Herbert obviously is my boy. And you know, a fun fact about Justin Herbert, he's been this is his 4th year as a starter in the NFL. No one has had him on their team except for me and Skylar.
That is fun. That's a fun fact.
Isn't that a fun little fact?
That's a fun
I
fact.
don't like that
Thank
fact
you.
one bit. What are we doing?
I had him as a keeper, or I had him as my rookie for the first 2 years.
2 years.
Skylar drafted him last year,
And you drafted him this year.
and then I drafted him this year.
Pretty tall guys stick together. Moral of the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And I obviously love Justin. I think, you know, the broken middle finger on the
All right.
non-throwing hand is probably not
We
a
gotta
problem,
go.
but
So we gotta go before you get any further.
just so you know, I'm not adding your soundtrack to this. It's just gonna be me and Cobb talking about you, and then like
It's gonna
no
sound
response.
really dumb without getting
Yeah.
it. It's gonna sound
Just mute it.
dumb.
Just mute me, please.
I'm grateful.
I wish
to
I
see
could
ya.
mute myself. Honestly, I wish I could just mute myself in real life. But, you know, here I am. I'm going to go golf and just, yeah.
Play well.
Love
Go
you guys.
low.
I'll go low.
That's a good man.
But
I
love
hope
you
you
guys.
go
Good luck
high.
today.
Oh, fuck off.
Okay,
Kyle.
goodbye.
Use my language.
Bye-bye.
Happy Sunday.
Matt added Dorian Thompson Robinson and Chuba Hubbard.
Cool.
Just hoping. Matt's just praying for something with those. And then Grant White Superstars picked up PJ Walker, and it's unfortunate that Gideon just left because
Oh yeah, we forgot to ask
because
him.
all Grant White Superstars had to do was get rid of Harrison Butker, who was actually electric on Thursday night
Right? Big drop
for the Chiefs.
by Grant White Superstars.
He's probably more valuable in the 1 week that PJ Walker will play football.
Absolutely. Well, 50-50 shot. Easy 50-50.
Skollich Cotty drops Sky Moore with 2 Ys for Falcons defense. Anyway, drops and ads aren't as fun, the next big trade that came through was Caldwell trading Logan Thomas, Cooper Kupp, Jordan Love. Well, he received those players, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
And Garbage Time Kings, Charlie DeFeo received Matt Stafford, Kyle Pitts, Devontae Smith, and Desmond Ridder. That's a big trade. It's kind of,
I think,
a lot of trash except for Cooper Kupp, and I think for that reason, Caldwell wins that trade by a long shot.
Well, maybe not, but like Charlie sort of needs it too, right? Because I'm there with Charlie where our quarterback play is just terrible, and there's nothing worse in a 2-quarterback league than just leading out a couple 20 to 30 ranked garbage tier quarterbacks every week.
Well, also,
it's just uninspiring. So if you can flip Kupp after one good week back to get Stafford, could be a top 10 quarterback any given week, kind of, maybe. That's so much hope. That is so much hope when you're down in
and Devonta
the 1
Smith
and 4 barrel.
Devonta Smith should be better too. Honestly, like what was crazy about this trade is that then like a day later, Deshaun Watson got ruled out, and now Caldwell doesn't have a starter,
right?
Because he gave away 2 of his quarterbacks.
And I've been trying to. I mean, he was trying to get me to trade with him, and I was just blowing him off before even looking at his team. And then it was like, oh, like you need help. Oh shit.
Which is like, I mean, Caldwell's 2-3, and now he's just put himself in position to go 2-4, which is a very big hole, as you know.
Yeah. I'm running fast. I'm sprinting it down this year.
Yeah, I mean you're trying to
I'm running
improve to 2 and
fast.
4.
Yeah, and it's not looking promising. I mean, I got a chance every week, but oof.
Yep. And then I think we finished off the week with you and Charlie. Charlie is hot on the trades.
Charlie got a
You
good
and
trade out of
Charlie
that one though. Just like
swapping
garbage.
Mac Jones for Zach
Just
Wilson.
absolute disgusting trade right there. Just gross.
That's
Not even worth
that
noting, really.
that trade happens in no other league. I can pretty much guarantee that.
And this one's an easy justification. I have 4 quarterbacks, but 3 of them are on bye next week, right? So it was Zach Wilson, Bryce Young, or Dak. It didn't matter. They were both on a week 7 bye. And CJ Stroud are all week 7 buys. So when I got rid of Ritter and took on CJ Stroud, I took on this problem without really thinking about it. And then easy switch for like, okay, sure, Zach Wilson's better chance of keeping his job and being some quarterback than Mac Jones, but Mac Jones is going to be playing week 7, maybe. So that is more value to me than another garbage quarterback.
That's fair. I mean, that's the beauty of our league is like
Right.
these shitty fringe players matter.
And then it was fun because he's playing the Bills. So, like, dude, that's my team, by the way, is the Bills. So I'm expecting the Bills to just stomp on my starting quarterback next week as I lose to Caldwell, which is why I also think he's not trading with me because he doesn't want to have Mac Jones for next week, which is what I'm trying to give him. It's like make sure he has Mac Jones and I get Jordan Love. But that's why
you are a sucker for drafting and trading for players that are playing for or playing against the Bills.
I have been this year. For sure.
And then the
the
last blockbuster trade that occurred, which caused an insane amount of a nice word for it being discourse in the league, was Gideon, which this trade impacted me because Gideon and I had a trade lined up, and I'm not going to reveal what the trade was.
Good man.
But we had a trade lined up that I believe my team would have been nuts. I'll just say that. Like,
yeah, I'm not trading with you. No, screw that.
I think a factor of Gideon's decision making, and he denies this, but was that my team was going to be too good. And but the caveat is that I think Gideon's team, even though he would have been giving up some good players, was ultimately going to be like his team was going to improve. Whereas this trade he did with Eric, I don't really think his team improved. I think he just got himself through this week because he has Daniel Jones and Daniel Jones is hurt and he needed a starter. So he trades T. Higgins and Josh Allen for Jalen Hurts and PJ Walker. In my trade with him, he was going to get 2 top 3 players at multiple different positions. So like not only was his team, and he was going to keep T. Higgins. I think for him, my trade was better. I have no idea why he didn't take it. He told me this was Gideon's justification, and this is insane to me. I died when he told me this. He said, the Giants' O-line is trash. So now you know that I was trying to give him Tyrod Taylor. He said, the Giants' O-line is trash, and the Cleveland O-line is pretty good. And that's why he did this trade instead of mine.
The Cleveland O-line.
Which is just weird.
Cincinnati this week. So
yeah,
T. Higgins is off the field on the. I can't draw the connection.
I don't know. I think, and my thing was like, dude, you're getting Tyrod Taylor, which he's not a good quarterback, but at least you're handcuffing your quarterback that has a broken neck. With PJ Walker, you're not you're just taking a guy who's gonna be on the waivers right after this week.
Correct.
Probably.
Oh yeah, he's on the Browns. There we go. There it is. There's the connection. Took me a second.
So,
yeah.
I think that was.
He did just come on in his 5-minute cameo and say Tyrod Taylor's going for -2.
I mean,
so
fair enough.
So there's why I didn't want Tyrod.
But the problem is, like, Daniel Jones has a history of neck injuries. They're saying this is a different neck injury, which I don't really understand because you only have one neck. So if your neck's injured and you've injured it before, it's probably a similar neck that's injured.
This over this part instead of over on this other side here,
And it's not a good sign that they were like, oh, it's not that bad and he's fine. He's probably going to play. And then on like Thursday, they're like, no, he's definitely not playing. So like, if
Yeah.
I were Gideon, I would be kind of freaking out because now you got PJ Walker, who's only starting because Deshaun Watson's shoulder is a little iffy and he's probably going to be fine next week.
Right. Or certainly if not next week, the week after. So at most it's a 2-week rental.
Maybe, yeah. And yeah, I don't.
If I
who's
may
better?
say, it's all just like goes into the beauty of the fact that like fantasy is it Liz Lola has been doing a like facts and feelings column, and I love that, right? Because you can be as rational as you want or as irrational as you want, but like you never know what the results are going to be. And ultimately,
the
like all
day,
these trades, it goes by like what you're feeling, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
Right?
it's like in
and
the
every
in the
individual,
moment.
who knows?
Yeah,
Right? Like I feel like this is good, but he thought, yeah, which is just so fun. It makes it so fun.
yeah. I honestly kind of hate the ESPN trade analyzer thing.
It
I
makes
feel like
it,
it kind of.
yeah.
I feel like it kind of fucked up that what you just said, which is like that whole thing that like, yeah, you can like attach as many statistics to fantasy as you want, but at the end of the day, like Travis Kelce can roll his ankle on like a fucking flat route, like 2-yard play, and then you're fucked. Like,
Scripted
which
or
you're not.
not, you're never gonna know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like not. Yeah, like analyzer told me that this trade
Right.
adds 40 points to my overall total season totals. It's like, well, that's not really the whole story because you might need something else this week, or your gut might be telling you something different than the numbers are telling you.
It does. It
So
is different than 5 years ago when you used to like preview a trade and it just said their names
yeah,
and like the number of points they scored this year, and it's like, all right, guess we're doing this. And now it's like, ooh, this person gets an 82 and that person gets an 87. But like, where are these numbers even coming from?
yeah, and I don't trust
I'm glad
anything
it's
that
still
ESPN
happening.
says. Like
Glad
these
it's still
guys
happening.
can barely write code well enough to make an app that opens.
Yeah. I'll actually give Charlie
And
some credit. He leveraged that when I first texted him about Mac Jones, right? I was like, dude, like he's playing against the Bills. What's even the point? Like, oh, and Watson likes the trade though. Watson likes Wilson better than Mac, and he's like, yeah, dude, but fuck the robot. I'm like, exactly that. Screw the robot. Let's trade.
love that.
Right?
Okay, who are your top 3 favorite teams in the league right now?
Ooh, I didn't do enough homework, but Dave's team is hot. I mean, there's just Christian McCaffrey, Tua, Tyreek. Dave's team is nice. End of story. Right? We like
Dave's
Dave's
team is nice.
Dave's team's at the top and deserves to be at the top. Your team also is the other point scored unicorn. So you're also at the top. Right? And
It is crazy the points for
points
like
for
usually
is my Bible, if there is any, right? Like that is your marker, and you guys are way ahead, right? So Dave's at 768, Kyle's at 763. The next closest is Magnus at 646.
Yep.
And then it's, casual shout out because I'm here. Then it's me at 636.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a team. I was that team last year, actually. I think I was in the same boat as you last year. I was like 1-3, and I had like the second most points for, which is usually kind of how our league is, because like the playing field is so level in our league. Like I feel like our league is usually like, the best team still has like a bunch of losses. Like the best team ends up like whatever, not 8-5 or something, and then
Right.
like there's what we call the muck, which is like the bottom 8 teams who are all like within 1 or 2 wins of each other, and they're all within 15, 20 points of each other. But this year there's like a pretty large spectrum of like good and bad. Like there's a lot
Right.
of bad teams in our league this
We
year.
do have a lot of bad.
And
two really good, and then a lot of bad.
and then like me and Dave, like I don't remember a season where there were teams at the top that just had like me and Dave are 150 points or 120 points ahead of the third place team.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like that.
You guys are
That's
kicking our asses, and it sucks.
But
Although,
the thing is that it all changes. Like it can all just change overnight.
True.
Like at the end of the day today, like it could all be different.
I will say, for whatever reason, it bothers me less that Dave is kicking my ass than that you're kicking our asses. I'm like, Dave, he's over there teaching the young brains, did his research, used his model, nice guy.
Malik! Oh, you almost got it.
Way to stay on task, by the way. I'm like looking at the TV. I'm forgetting about the game. But let me ask you. I think my third is going to be Scotty. Still, I liked him coming into the year. I still like it. I still like what Scotty's rolling out there. Eckler and Mostert is nice. I mean, that's just coming back this week. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's been sitting on Eckler. He's in good position at 3-2. He's got him coming back. Purdy and Lawrence. I'm still a Lawrence believer. I haven't been watching much, I suppose, but they just beat the Bills. Guy came on late last year. I don't know. St. Brown, I love. Mark Andrews is great. That's a hot starting lineup right there. I like that.
I don't hate it either. One, because like he's 3-2, and Eckler's been hurt all year. He's back. Mozart has been nasty, and now A-Chain's hurt.
Right. He's out.
And then you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's also been hurt, who's now back. So
that's nice.
His team,
right?
His team is good for sure.
Magnus is in the conversation.
Start winning big.
Guy is in the conversation. Sorry, Flynn, but I think your team's not. It's not at 4-1 good. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. So the Anthony Richardson thing, I think, has been officially like a bust. Like Anthony Richardson has shown some signs of greatness, but he's like now, he was already out for a game with a concussion, and now he's out with this like shoulder problem. He's officially on the IR. So now he's like starting Gardner Minshew, which means Joe Burrow really has to step it up. And Joe Burrow did look finally good last week. So I don't know. Matt's team is definitely weird, and I think overvalued at 4-1.
Right. It is.
But this is Matt. This is what Matt does. He slides into like the bye week of playoffs somehow, and then he loses in the first week of play, like in his first game in playoffs in the second round, and gets third place. That's what Matt does, and I love that.
And the comments he brings are wild. Anyway.
Just once a week, just something like insane. All right, so who's the biggest bust at QB this year?
Ooh, biggest bust at QB so far?
Yeah, so far.
Dak's the first one that comes to mind, but
who?
Dak's the first. Dak comes to mind pretty quick.
Dak's good. I didn't have Dak. I actually had two, and the second one is like a caveat because I think he's going to come back. But I'm kind of biting my tongue now because I had Lamar Jackson.
Ooh.
Like Lamar is like, he's fine this year, right? Like it's not like he's bad, but let's see. He's the number 11 quarterback
in fantasy currently.
He just scored 17 points on this game right here. Last week, like I was watching him last week just because I was playing against him, and it was like that last 2-minute drive was disgusting. Like he had a chance to win it, threw an interception in the end zone, somehow got the ball back, had another chance to like show a miracle, and on the first snap of the drive, he like fumbles it and just like loses the game.
Yep, you hate that.
And so my like caveat too was Joe Burrow. I feel like like Dak Prescott, maybe not obvious. I think he's like, is it a surprise that he's a bust?
Fair enough.
Like
Yeah.
he's
Half
definitely
of America thought he was going to bust this year.
he's a bust. He's kind of been a bust every year, and people are like, no, he shouldn't be a bust this year, and then he's a bust. But I
Right.
think like Joe Burrow obviously has been a bust up until last week.
Yeah, but like, okay,
Um,
you're saying he's a bust right now, but do you actually not believe that he's going to get his stuff together? This
no,
is
that's why I was like kind of caveating
yeah.
it
You're
because
like,
of
yeah, dude, it's week 6. Come on.
like he's probably. And I was actually listening to some maybe it was like Mc, uh, McAfee's whatever talk show.
Okay.
He was saying that the Bengals, Joe Burrow hasn't played in or hasn't had a training camp in his NFL career. So maybe his rookie year he did, but his
That was
rookie
like
year
COVID
he
though,
blew
or
out his
something, right? Who knows?
yeah something. So he blew out his knee if you remember, like his rookie year,
Hmm.
and then he didn't go to training camp that year, and then last year he had his appendix out if you remember, didn't attend
I
training
don't
camp.
remember that, but okay.
He had
Doesn't mean
appendix
it.
surgery last year, and then this year he hurt his calf. So he's never had a training camp. And if you look at all 3 of those years, the Bengals started like pretty slow, like 0-2 or like 1-2.
So
And
here
so
we
this year
are.
it's a little bit bigger of a hole. But last week it's like, all right, well, I think they're now being the Bengals and they're going to get it together.
He's just
So
too. He's the next coming of Brady, as close as we've seen, right? Where he's just got that confidence.
yeah,
I
I would
like.
agree.
I think I think he's actually grinding, and he actually knows it. So therefore, he is confident in what he's putting on the table.
Yeah. Okay. Running back, wide receiver. I'll go first just to give you a chance to think about it.
Like
So
it.
my
But
running
so
back
far,
bust so far, my running back bust, and I say this because of the timing of our draft. Jonathan Taylor is the biggest running back bust because he literally like had while we were drafting, the news came out that he was like having all these problems with the Colts and that he probably wasn't going to play, and that they were going to trade him and all this shit, and then he ended up going on the pup. So like with the top, because of our draft, if we had drafted one day later, he would not be a bust like it would have been expected. But because of
right?
what we thought at the time of our draft, I would say he's the biggest bust for us. And then at the wide receiver position, I would say Garrett Wilson. I personally thought Garrett Wilson was going to be a top 5 wide receiver. And then Aaron Rodgers goes down to the 4th play of the year. And like Garrett Wilson has been a non factor. And obviously not his fault, but yeah, just nothing really to be seen there. And he's on your team now. You're just kind of waiting,
Yeah,
right?
he's trotting out in my starting lineup this week, and ESPN still projecting for 15 points, but I'm ready for 5.
Yeah.
It's sure, talented guy, but yeah, I'm not Zach Wilson. I hope he can. I hope, right? I'm hopeful. I wish everyone well. I wish Zach Wilson well, but what is his 3rd year? I doubt it. Sorry.
The Jets just need to run the ball. Like if the Broncos game last week was any indication of what they need to do, like Brees, I mean, they're playing Philadelphia this week, which is the number 1 run defense.
How about
Um,
okay? So I've got a couple for you. I pulled up the draft board, so I'm going with a couple 3rd rounders. All right,
okay.
Ramondre Stevenson, running back.
Mm,
Guy,
yeah.
I remember watching him run like a complete animal. Just it can't get turned down, right? Can't get
Yeah.
stopped. I'm pretty sure his efficiency metrics this year are just terrible. The guy can't get going, and like maybe it's the whole offense, maybe it's the same thing as Garrett Wilson, where it's not entirely his fault, but gross.
Yeah.
And that was a
Easy.
first pick of round 3 to Jeff. Guy has
Yeah.
not put
And
up many points.
easy for me to say this, but I remember when he went that early, and actually that's false. I did not remember him getting picked. And the reason why I know I don't remember him getting picked is because in like the 10th round, this is how little I thought of Stevenson. I walked up to the draft board and I was like, "Where is Ramondre Stevenson?" And
Oh
everyone was
my
like, "Dude, you're
god.
so dumb. He got picked in the 3rd round." And then I was like, what? That's crazy. Like I
That's so
had
dumb.
I had a feeling clearly that he was going to be trash for some reason. And I just attribute it to like how the Patriots operate. Like, even if they have a guy with a breakout year, aside from like Edelman and Gronk, like even Tom Brady wasn't like he was the greatest quarterback of all time, like wasn't the best fantasy player to have just because
Only for that
of
first
how like
decade. And there was
yeah,
the
just of
Randy Moss year, and then he was
yeah,
fantasy royalty,
that's true.
right? So it
But like
changed in like 2007. So it was for 5 years that he was like 12th in fantasy.
yeah, it's just like the way that they game plan and the way that they operate. It's just like you never know. There might just be some random guy that comes in and gets touches.
Yeah.
They, their scheme is like completely unpredictable every week. Like you just don't know. And that I personally avoid Patriots players for my fantasy team like wildfire.
I do think just if you don't have players on bad teams, it tends to help, right? Because my other bust I'm going to say is for wide receiver, I got CeeDee Lamb, another Cowboy,
Yeah.
right? Like they stack, or like Miles Sanders. Guy picked Miles Sanders in like the 5th round, I think, playing for Carolina.
Yeah. It's not a perfect system, but it's kind of like a rule of thumb that I try to live by. It's like if I have 2 players and one of them is technically better, but on a worse team, I try to go with the guy on the better team.
Definitely.
Especially at the running back position, like you want, and my team isn't this year because most of my running backs are superstars on bad teams, but like I try, like running back, I feel like you can have all the talent in the world. And if you don't have a pass game and you don't have a good offensive line, then it's like really hard to be a productive running back.
Josh Jacobs, 2023.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys catching footballs though. But okay,
Yep.
let's not give away all our secrets to the only people that listen to this being our friends that we play fantasy against. Okay, I mean, I'm sure everybody's on board with to try to get guys on good teams, but even still, that's good intel right there. Took me like 10 years to realize that.
All right, Kirk Cousins. Oh shit! I just told you who my surprise quarterback position was this year.
Surprise breakthrough guy, Kirk. Your one true love.
Well, so the story is I drafted him early because I wanted him and I didn't think I was going to get him if I waited until whatever.
You weren't, because you took him round 2 and you weren't going to get him in round 3.
I wouldn't have got him in round 3 at like the 7th pick or whatever. So I took him early and like that was probably a reach, but I wanted him, so I reached for him because I was like, yeah, he's gonna be top 10. And then I came out with that podcast where I was like, he's gonna be top 5, and like that was I don't know if I really believed that. And then like through 3 weeks, he's like number 1, number 2, and now he's like making his way down to like number 3, number 4, and now Justin Jefferson's hurt, and we're gonna see what happens this week. They're playing the Bears. I think he has a good chance of like having a good week. And I personally do think he's a great fantasy player to have because he fucking slings it. Like he just slings it. He doesn't throw it that accurately. He makes a lot of bad decisions and throws a lot of interceptions, but he's got Brett Favre-esque vibes where it's just like He doesn't give a fuck. He's just throwing the ball. And that pays off big in fantasy often. But I am genuinely surprised at the season that he's been having. Like even last week, like it didn't look like a good game, but he still somehow put up 20-something points.
Look, even if you are surprised at how good he's been, the fact that you called him as a top 10, top 5, you should just stand by that and hide how you truly believe and be like, I'm a genius. Matthew Berry's dumb. How are all these people getting paid? I should be getting paid, is what you should be saying. You shouldn't be saying, ooh, I didn't know if I believed it. You should be saying, you guys are dumb. How are you getting paid? And I'm giving this advice away for free on the internet.
And everybody, I hated all this fucking news coming out about how he's going to get traded and he was going to waive his no trade clause. He's not doing that
in Minnesota, dude. He loves it in the Twin Cities. He's adored.
He's not.
He's probably ice fishing on Tuesdays, man, with his neighbor. He's probably having a great time up there.
That is not the guy that Kirk Cousins is. Kirk Cousins is not just going to give up on his team 6 weeks into the year. Kirk Cousins is going to take 4 sacks today.
Oh. And stick with it.
Heaven.
He's going to stick with it.
And we have more. More complications entering my editing.
Sky Money. Do you think that's the commish, or you think somebody's trolling?
What do you think, boys?
That's like a hacker
Yeah,
from
that's a
Eastern,
troll right there.
that's an Eastern
What do
European
you
hacker that
think?
just found its way into Zencaster and just stole all my payment information.
I did have to download it on my phone, which I didn't love. I didn't love that, but I did it.
Very cool. Well, now, if you remember when we first started on Zencaster, they didn't even let you use mobile devices. So they're improving.
Wow.
You're part of the come up. We're part of the come up.
Yeah, they're like, we have this one really good podcast that has 50 users and they record like once every quarter. So like we should go raise more money and hire a bunch of engineers for these guys. Make
Wait,
our
boys,
app better.
I actually got an email that I'm pretty sure was a junk mail from somebody that was like, hey, like, you recently did a recording with Kyle. Like, click this link to expand your views.
Yikes.
Huh.
Skylar, who's the biggest surprise for you at the QB position this year? Good surprise,
Kirk Cousin.
not bad surprise.
Kirk Cousin.
Whoa!
There it is. See, he's a man of integrity.
I said Kirk Cousins is mine. Cobb, what's yours?
I mean, Kirk is a good one. I don't think you can beat Kirk.
Unanimous agreement.
I mean, guys are really good.
I mean, the other one is CJ Stroud for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
He is hot. He's hot right now.
He's really hot.
I want to say Stafford. Stafford has been a surprise. I didn't really.
Jesus, Kyle, what's going on in the back of your screen? Big old brawl.
Oh heavens!
Skylar's staying focused out here
Stafford's
too.
a good one.
We got 9 minutes till kickoff, boys.
Oh, it's huge.
Stafford, I agree with Cobb.
Right? Like, I don't know.
Stafford
Rams
looks
weren't getting
nice.
much love at all. It was like, oh, they used to be at the Super Bowl just a couple years ago, and now I wish I had them on my team.
Well, and don't forget last year I drafted him in my third round pick, but it was at the flip, so it was like the 25th pick, 26th pick, and he was awful last year.
Yeah,
So
he
you
was
just
really
hate
bad.
to see it, right? So he's doing the opposite of Dak.
No, but I'm a Stafford fan. I like Stafford.
Good deal.
All right, biggest surprise at running back, wide receiver.
I mean the Miami running backs for me.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a great take. You love that. Mostert was literally Scotty's keeper, and before the draft, I was thinking he should have kept McKinnon instead. That's hilarious.
I got the Rams, Puka and Kieran.
Puka's good.
Biggest surprise at wide receiver.
Puka's a good one.
Those guys are just out of nowhere elite fantasy players right now.
You guys mind if I go a different direction just because Skylar's here right now? I want to ask him a question.
Sure. Please.
I've been loving the content of him on the sidelines, cheering on the CVU boys, and I want to hear the POV on soccer this week because I know we're coming into. When I was in Vermont, I was hearing about how playoffs are coming up. I'm in. I'm invested.
I love it.
Right.
Well, I love the question, Cobb. But first, it's not cheering; it's coaching. Let's start with that.
What did I call it? Sorry.
You said I was cheering on the sideline.
Coaching.
That's what Shore and Dave do, which I appreciate them. Got to give a shout out to Dave. Did not think he was going to show up to a game. Had to badger him for the last 2 weeks. Give him a lot of shit. Cobb was on some of the text chains about it. Giving him a lot of heat about not coming to a game. But the guy showed up Friday for an absolute thriller. So the last 2 games, going into this week, we were ranked number 1 in the state. Had MMU and South Burlington, both good competitors. MMU I was the head coach for because our head coach was out. So big game. We lost them in the first game. So going into that, we were 9-1. That one loss was the first game of the season against MMU. Big win, 2-1 win. Our guy scored last 3 minutes off a corner kick. Shore was at the game. He documented it a little bit. Unreal.
First time head coach?
Emotions are high. First this year,
Dude.
yeah. Typically our head coach will be out like 1 week-ish per year for work. And this was the week. But then the real thriller came into Friday night, which is just like the most unbelievable game I've witnessed, I've coached, I've been around. We were 1-2 in the state going in South Burlington, where I live, where my lovely wife won a state title at. Shout out to Elise. We go into this game, emotions are high. We're getting our ass beat for the first 20 minutes. Absolutely getting destroyed. Get a penalty call. Great. Score the penalty. We're up 1-0. Felt like kind of a gift. Next 20 minutes, the rest of the half, they just dominate. Put 2 in on us. 2-1 at halftime. We could have lost. We could have been down 4 or 5-1 easily at halftime. Our goalie kept us in it. Redid some tactics. They were playing a 3-back system, which is pretty rare in high school. We score off the halftime 2-2, and then finally they have like 30 seconds left. We have kind of a breakaway, shoot, miss, goalie gets it. Goalie then punts the ball with about 10 seconds left. Our guy heads it from half field, somehow just goes straight to a breakaway. I don't know what they're doing. Our guy's dribbling down the middle of the field. Schwer's guy, he's a hockey guy, Menard, scores 1.9 seconds left on the clock. Scores. The whole side of the student section is on a hill. They all flood down onto the field. It's absolute pandemonium. I don't even know where I was. I was halfway into the field. I'm like, I'm gonna get a red card. I don't care. Selling with the boys. It was insane. It was insanity. I've never seen a buzzer beater with soccer.
That's wild.
So the refs have
Yeah.
to like clear the field to play the last 2 seconds?
Yes. Yeah, it took them like 5 minutes to clear the field. It was insane.
Sweet.
I've never seen it.
Dude, Vermont high
Wow.
school
Yeah.
soccer blowing up. Let's go.
Yeah, so the boys are 11-1, number 1 in the state. We have 2 games left, then playoffs. And then we go to work.
So do you think they're going to play their asses off these last 2 games? Like, what's the strategy, or is it going to be a momentum ride into playoffs, or are you going to have to get them fired up, keep them in check?
So our head coach Rob does a really good job of keeping them in check. I'm more the emotion, like momentum guy.
You're the fun coach.
Yeah. Exactly.
The gas guy.
So it's good that we have a balance between Rob, who was like after the game, he's like, guys, that wasn't good enough. That won't win us a title. And I'm like, that was fucking sweet. Let's go. So I think it's a good balance. I think more so like this next game is a big one on Wednesday night, and then Saturday night, and then the regular season's over. But we really do have to kind of win these last 2 to submit number 1 in the state. So yeah, we gotta keep going, but we gotta stay disciplined.
What do you get for being number 1? Do you get a bye week or something?
We get a bye. We also get home field throughout until the final, which is at Virtue, which is pretty sweet.
Oh.
So the final is hosted at UVM, which is pretty elite. But until then, if we're the 1 or 2 seed, we get to host every game going into the finals, which is sweet.
Sounds like you have a rambunctious fan group as well.
Yes, which is great.
Right.
So we want to be home. Our field's huge. Our field is like plays really big. Like some high school soccer fields in Vermont are actually pretty small. So it actually does matter home and away for a lot of these places.
There's not even
Very
universal
cool.
field size in Vermont? Dang. Oof.
No. Even college, there's fields will be different sizes.
There are a lot of hills, I suppose.
All right, back to fantasy.
Yeah,
What
sorry,
are
I needed that. I love
what
it.
are what are the matchups of the week to watch, boys? Sky, you first.
Well, I mean, you and Dave makes like the most sense, but I'm not gonna lie, I won't really care about that matchup because you guys are both like kind of cruising, to be honest. I actually don't think your matchup matters that much.
It doesn't matter, but aside from injuries, barring injuries, it's an important matchup to say, what might happen in playoffs. Just saying.
Sure, but we're so far away from playoffs. It's not. I just don't think it's that like. It's a cool matchup, but I think the most relevant matchup, in my opinion, is actually Jeff and Charlie, because the loser of that is done. The loser of that can pack up his bag, go home, take the bus.
They're just fighting for toilet bowls at that point.
Yeah, I mean, they're both 1-4 going into the matchup, and whoever gets it has a little life.
No, Jeff is 2-3.
Oh, in my mind, he's 1-4 though, so I'm gonna still keep that.
And Russell Wilson scored 6.9 points on Thursday night, so he's in rough shape.
Yeah,
that's my number.
Count me in for the Dartmouth boys matchup. I love a little Magnus Caldwell showdown. And Magnus is definitely feeling himself, so he would love to carry a win, but
Well, Derrick Henry rushed for 97 yards, so that's a little punch to his nuts.
Ooh, that sucks.
Who's that? Mario
I
Cunningham is in. Malik Cunningham. There you go. Is in for Caldwell.
What do you
Quarterback.
think about starting Jonathan Taylor instead of Zach Moss?
I like it. I think it's Jonathan Taylor week. I'll do this, Kyle. Who do you think scores more points this week, Jonathan Taylor or Zach Moss?
I just don't know what's going on with the snap count.
Well, no one does. That's the point of betting, guessing.
Well,
I'll
that's what
I'll bet $5.
That's what I'm saying.
$5.
That's what I'm saying is Zach Moss is number 4 ranked running back right now. Like, it's not like he's
He has
bad.
40 points.
There's no rush to get Jonathan Taylor in. Like, they just signed him for $40 million. Like, he hasn't played football.
$5. $5.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in
I
on
go
Zach
Jonathan,
Moss, Kyle. Are you in on Zach Moss?
All right,
over
let's go.
Jonathan
$5.
Taylor this week?
All right, that's done.
Just
Done.
straight
Put it
up
on the board.
points.
Yeah,
All
straight
right.
up points. That's great.
All right.
Of course, they never
So
bet
you-
actual money. Of course.
All right.
Goes without saying.
Last question. And NFL Red Zone is starting, boys. Last
Dude,
question.
I hate it. You're 7 seconds ahead of me.
Oh
by the
my
way.
heavens. How are you feeling about your matchups? Give me a monologue. Each of you. Cobb, you first.
Well, I'm not feeling good, but I'm not feeling as bad as I thought I was going to rolling in on Thursday. You know, the fact that Sutton got a touchdown, the fact that Kelsey was showing off in front of his hot new girlfriend. My guys still have a chance at relevance. I give myself a 25% chance, and I also think I need a win this week to have a chance to stay in it. So it's a big week, but I've sort of, I've let it all go. I'm ready to switch. I got my Ivy League jersey. I'm ready to turn that thing to the orange one for the rest of the season. Once I get to 7 losses, I'm ready.
I think
I've mentally
that
accepted it. So that's
the
less on my
pivotal
matchup
moment-
and more on just where I'm at in fantasy.
the pivotal players in your matchup, based on what Sutton and Kelsey did, is if AJ Brown and Keenan Allen stay on Earth, if they have 10 to 15 points each, I think you have a very good shot.
I like that. That's well said.
Because Gardner Minshew and Joe Burrow, what happens? No one knows.
Josh Jacobs, come on, keep getting stuffed.
Yeah.
I don't know. See what happens.
I'm rooting for you, Cobb.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I feel like
we're both rooting for
I
you.
feel like I've been bringing good stuff this year, so I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah,
got to root for the underdog as well.
That's true. Yeah, Matt somehow is 4-1. I don't even get it.
Yeah.
I've said that this week. I looked over and I was like, "What? 4-1?"
He's Matt doing Matt things. I said it earlier before you got here, Scott. This is what he does.
It's crazy.
He hangs around. He ends up 1 or 2, and then he loses in the second round after his bye week.
Every time.
I need that.
3 years in a row.
How do I get that in my life? What do I do, Matt? Tell me.
I mean, that's almost worse than just being bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
True.
I want it. I kind of want it.
Mediocrity.
So, give me. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. Sky, where are you at this week?
All right. I'll go mine. Well, the Chiefs Broncos game was tough to watch because Jerry Jeudy was useless, but it also was nice to watch because Patrick Mahomes looked awful. Not his stat line was like that terrible. He just looked so. That's been this year though. Like I even thought after training him, I'm like, this is gonna be the game. He's gonna put down 40 points. He's gonna look great. He's gonna be slinging the ball around. There's something off. They're just cruising to win. It's like their defense is too good almost, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it just. So I feel really great about having Justin Herbert. Thank you, Kyle.
Yep.
No problem. I feel really good about running backs now with Travis and Joe as my kind of work dogs. I mean, the Jerry Jeudy thing kind of sucked, though. Kind of put me at a hole to start the week, but I would give my percentage like a 50-50, a coin flip right now to beat Shore. Shore's team looks great. I mean, him getting Josh Allen was one of the most crazy, that's just a crazy trade to me. I didn't get it, as I stated many times. I think it was absolute just pushing somebody around. And I don't know how it happened, but him getting T. Higgins with that is just insane to me. He's the number 1 quarterback. He's the number 1 player in fantasy, and he got him. Yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah, you got him. He got him for. He got him, and it's just it's crazy.
It's crazy. a top 24 wide receiver. Easily a top 20. You cannot deny T. Higgins is a wide receiver too, if
Yeah.
healthy. And he doesn't even have to be healthy for a couple weeks.
Yep.
So that's where I feel with my matchup. I feel good. Don't feel great, but I feel good.
Okay.
Dak, you like having Dak? You shot me the quick Dak trade.
I don't know. I don't know. I almost put Baker in. I was
think
really
I
close.
would. I mean, I believe that. I saw.
But he's playing the Lions. Baker's playing the
Yeah.
Lions though, which the
Okay.
Lions scared the shit out of me. Aiden Hutchins might break Baker today.
I hope Baker.
Yeah, they might.
I hope he stays in one piece. Really
Thank you.
Absolutely. Kyle, I don't even.
So that's what I got.
I don't actually even want to hear how you're feeling because you're feeling good. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Cool story, Kyle. Thanks.
I don't know. Are you feeling good, Kyle?
You know, I think it's going to really come down to the Dolphins, and they have a tough matchup. Like bad team. They're playing a bad team with a pretty good defense. And so I think it's really going to come down to like what actually happens with that. Because, you know, like the Panthers could somehow shut down Tariq, and, you know, like it's happened where like Tariq just was like quiet because like a defense figured it out. And then, you know, like maybe they go Jalen Waddle. That's kind of what I'm banking on, is like Tariq has one of these weeks like he did against Buffalo. Shout out Cobb.
Dude,
where he scores 8 points, and they start looking over at Waddle because that's what Carolina's pinning him into doing. They're trying to get him to go somewhere else. So I think that's kind of like the pivotal player. And Christian McCaffrey starts off with a 30-yard run. Perfect.
Yeah,
standard operating procedure.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm expecting Christian to go for 30. I'm expecting Tariq to go for, you know, probably 30. I'm hoping for 10. And I think if that happens, then I have a chance. But other than that, like I feel pretty good about my matchups. Like Brees Hall's going against Philly, that's tough. And then the rest of the matchups are like pretty solid. Like Kirk Cousins should have a decent week against the Bears. Bijan should have a decent week against Washington. DJ Moore against the Vikings. TJ Hawkinson against the Bears. Like my matchups are in my favor. I should have a good week in terms of points. It's just going to be like, does Dave's team stay on planet Earth?
How about this take, Kyle? I think your most important player for the outlook of your season this week is Kirk Cousins.
Yes, 100%.
Because if he has a good week, sell high, baby. Sell high. But if he has a bad week, it's time to dig your heels in and figure it out.
Well, I'm not going to tell you I'm slowly revealing what the trade to Gideon was. And I'll tell you that our conversation ended with Gideon saying, I'm sending the trade now. And then an hour went by and I said, what's going on? And he texted me back and he said, you're going to hate me. And I said, yeah, I already do. And then Cobb literally texted, wow. And I said, fuck you, Gideon.
If you had gotten Jalen Hurts
with
a Kirk Cousins deals, that
no, it was a good trade, and I'll tell you, I was getting rid of Josh Allen or getting rid of Kirk Cousins.
And you're getting Joshy. You're getting big boy Josh for sure. Look, I'm grateful Josh is not on your team.
I think everybody is.
Even if that was ugly. I do love that.
That would have been a Caldwell repeat.
The trade, so I would have gotten Josh, and the trade was objectively better for Gideon. Like Gideon made his team worse just to like get through this week. This trade would have arguably made his team better because he was getting an upgrade at other positions.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have to convince me, man.
I believe it. We're glad Kyle's team didn't improve, even if Gideon's could have too. We're glad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Christian McCaffrey, touchdown. Receiving touchdown.
Dude, that is crazy though. That's crazy that Caldwell, after having 5 QBs, is not starting a quarterback this week.
Caldwell's an idiot.
It's really dumb.
I love him. I don't think he's an idiot. It's just, you know.
I love him, but it's really stupid. I mean, he has Jordan Love on the bench with a bye.
He had so much trade value, and he could have used all of those quarterbacks to improve his team a lot, and I feel like he did not.
No.
And now he's probably going to end this week 2-4, and that's a big hole to dig out of.
It's an uphill battle.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
How about Chuck? Chuck has Desmond Ritter and Stafford starting his lineup this week. Out of nowhere.
You guys think Ritter can run it back? Think he can have another good one? I
don't think so.
didn't watch him,
I'm a Ritter
but
fan. I haven't watched him either. I'm glued to the TV today for the next 6 hours, so I'll get some good game film today.
Lots of snaps, boys. Let's get it fired up. Let's get the beers.
Let's go, boys.
Let's get the beers going.
Yeah, I just poured myself a nice hot cider with a little bit of extra sauce in there, if you know what I mean.
Ooh.
I like that. Really like that.
Okay, boys. Well, that's all I got. That's all I got from my end. I'm gonna go take care of my child.
Dude, I'm
7
glad that
hours
you
of
have-
commercial-free
I'm
football.
glad that you have the afternoon to enjoy. You've been going hard the past few weekends.
Yeah, no, I have this week or to this morning. We actually hiked Bolton, and it was literally raining 40 degrees the whole time. So, yeah, I'm glad to be home.
Hell yeah, brother.
Kyle, thanks
Glad
for
to be
hosting,
home.
dude.
Glad
Thanks
to be.
for hosting us.
Yeah, Kyle, way to go, bud.
Oh, we did it. All
It was
right,
really
guys.
cool to talk with you instead of just hear you talk.
Yeah, that's more fun.
I'm glad you had more fun
All right,
too.
love you guys.
Love you
All
guys.
right. See you guys.
Be well, guys.